Hello and welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to take a look at PLC programming, continuing our PLC programming tutorials, and today zeroing in on how to scale analog inputs. So we've done quite a lot of work so far on the channel with Booleans or binary digital inputs and digital outputs, which are on, off, 0, or 1. Today we're going to take a look at the other kind of input, which is analog inputs and outputs. And these are things like temperatures, pressures, flows, the speed of a variable frequency drive, things that are not 0 or 1. They have a range of control, a range of feedback input or control output. And to understand the scaling that we need to do in the PLC, you need to understand briefly how these work. So effectively, every analog device is converting a physical real-world process into a raw electrical signal. The most common ones are 0 to 10 volts DC and 4 to 20 milliamps analog input. So the thing that I want to go, put my credibility at stake and say is more common is 4 to 20 milliamps, because you get this nice benefit of 0 milliamps also telling you that there's a problem with the device. So 4 milliamps acts as your baseline of a 0 reading, where that's 0 pressure or flow or your low level or whatever. But 4 milliamps tells you that, but 0 milliamps tells you, hey, I've lost communication with this device and I've gotten some benefit. You don't always have that necessarily if you have 0 to 10 volts, unless you add in some sort of like broken line connection. Now, it's important to note that every PLC manufacturer and every analog input card can be a little bit different, so you need to check the specs for what the raw input signal is for your card. Some Allen Bradley cards will use 0 to 32,000. They'll basically max out what a double integer can hold, a double integer value variable. But Siemens, the more common one, is basically 0 to 27,648, where anything below 0 will be seen as under current, and anything above 27,648 will be seen as over current. Okay, so we'll use 0 to 27,648 because I have the Siemens PLC programming software and a PLC hooked up. But the concepts we're about to cover are universal for any PLC. So let's actually get into what scaling an analog input looks like. And let's just make a new function called analog scaling. You could create this in any PLC platform. Now, the exact name of the next two blocks I'm going to show do vary across PLC platforms. So the two steps we want to do are basically take a raw electrical input, which will be giving us a value of 0 to 27,648, and we want to normalize it to basically 0 to 100%, or 0.0 to 1.0. And then we want to scale it according to our engineering units. Okay, so this is what scaling an analog input means. What that 0 to 27,648 means to the actual real world is meaningless unless we scale it, because a flow meter, a pressure sensor, and a temperature sensor, and a level sensor could all be hooked up to the same analog input card. They could all be 4 to 20 milliamps, but that tank might be telling you 0 to 10 feet of liquid. That flow meter might be telling you 0 to 50 GPM of flow. That temperature could be 32 to 200 degrees Fahrenheit, or you might want that temperature sensor reading in Celsius. That is where the scaling comes in. So the first thing we want to do is we want to normalize that raw value. Siemens has a block called norm_x. You could do this in Allen Bradley with a compute or calculate block. You can do it in Siemens with a calculate block, but this is already built for you, where you basically say, what is my raw electrical minimum? It's going to be 0, and my raw electrical maximum will be 648. And then we'll define this raw input as a input to be passed into this function. Okay, so we're creating a function that will let us scale all of our analog inputs. So we'll make this reusable. So we'll make it what's called a local in, meaning it needs to get passed into this function when we call it. and we'll make it a double integer. That's the proper format for this. And this is going to output something that we'll use in this scaling function called normalized. So we'll just go ahead and define it. We'll make it a real because this is going to give us 0 to 1, but we don't want an integer that will only ever read 0 or 1. We want it that normalized 0 to 100%. So we want it to be a real. Okay, now we'll have this normalized bit that will, and actually, did I call it local temp? Okay, good. So this will basically tell us 0 to 1 as a function of scale, like where in the 4 to 20 milliamp span our device is. But that's still not useful because those aren't the units we're looking for. What we're looking for is something that has been scaled to the appropriate output. Okay, so we'll take that normalized and we'll say we have 0 to 100. It can be really tempting to just take that value and multiply it times your max span. So if you were looking at a level sensor that was telling you 0 to 100% full on a tank, you might get away with saying like, well, now I'll just multiply it by 100 and it'll tell me the percent full of the tank. But that's tricky because 4 milliamps does not always equal 0. Sometimes, like with a temperature sensor, and in the US, you know, we're using Fahrenheit, 0 is not a temperature you're going to see from a temperature sensor very regularly. If you're measuring the temperature of a liquid, a lot of these are scaled to like 32 or you know, they'll be 32 to 200, but you want this function to work if you get another temperature sensor that goes 50 to 300. So again, to make this reusable, what we want to do is we want to make some new variables and call them EU min and EU max. You can call these something else that makes more sense to you. EU means engineering units, right? This means the basically like the actual what you want your scaled output to display as. And we'll make these reals as well, even though they are most commonly going to be integers. That's okay. We'll keep them all reals. And that should not be local temp. That should be another local in. Okay. We want, when you're calling, can I move that? Okay. We want that to be a local in because we want this to be something that you pass in per input. The whole thing about making an analog scaling function that's reusable means you need to be able to change these parameters per sensor that you hook up. So we'll make engineering units minimum and maximum, and then we'll make an output that will be our scaled input. Okay, so I know I just said output that'll be our scaled input, but if you think about what this function is doing, it's taking a raw electrical signal from an analog input and it's turning it into a useful scaled engineering units, whether that's GPM for flow or, you know, inches of H2O for a level sensor or something like that. So we'll make that a local out and we'll go ahead and define that. Just this little normalize plus scale is all it's going to take to give us a reusable function that will let us scale inputs. So let's go take a look at what actually using this thing looks like, and we'll show an example of it working. So let's go ahead and define like raw temp 1. Okay, we'll make a raw temperature sensor, and to not worry about wiring or physical hookup, we'll make it a memory tag for now, but obviously this would be the tag you hook up to your global analog input channel. We'll go ahead and define it, and we'll say the engineering units minimum for this will be 32 and 200, right? So it's measuring the temperature of water. There's no reason to think it's going to measure below 32. Super important point about EU min and EU max. This is not something you as the programmer should be picking what makes sense to you. This should be from the manual of the device that you hooked up. So depending on the specs of your temperature sensor, your flow meter, it'll tell you min span and max span for 4 and 20 milliamps. So I am obviously picking values for the demonstration, but these are things that should be coming from a manual. Now let's go ahead and define the scaled output. Okay, so this is going to be now a temperature sensor. Oh, doesn't need the pound sign. There we go. This is going to show us a temperature sensor. Let's go ahead and download it. This will show us a temperature sensor that is going to read a raw electrical signal of 0 to 27,648, but our function that we just wrote should scale that down to a 0 to 1% of span and then multiply it times 32 to 200 to figure out where we are in that span. Okay, So we're sitting there at 0. 32 is a good sign. Let's go ahead and throw 13,000 in here and look at what about middle span looks like, right? And it gives us, hey, okay, you're getting this electrical reading on your card of 13,000. That correlates to 110.99 degrees Fahrenheit. Nobody in the UK panic. And then let's go get pretty close to max span, okay, 25,000. All right, it's 183 degrees. So you can see this is kind of cool and kind of useful, but let's take a look at where it gets really useful. Let's say we have a raw level in here as well, and the level is going to show us from 3 inches of water up to 240 inches of water. Okay, it's I don't know, ultrasonic level sensor, pick your poison. But basically, let's just make up that we have some level sensor here, and we are going to have a scaled level 1 here. And we'll make that a global memory as well. And like making all these global memories is not exactly good programmer's etiquette. I'm just trying to go fast for the sake of a tutorial. And then we'll throw one more in here. We'll say we have a flow meter, raw flow 1. And we'll define a little global flow meter tag here. That shouldn't have been a real. That's okay. It doesn't matter. And let's say that the flow meter is 0 to 100 GPM, and we'll make scaled flow 1 tag as well. Okay, define tag, global memory. There we go. All right, let's go ahead and download this, play around with it, and talk through what we're seeing a little bit. Alrighty, so we'll leave scaled temp alone as is, but what's cool is we've written that scaling function once, and this raw level is currently showing 0, and it's, scaling it to 3. And if I send this one to, 10,000, a little less than half span, it gives us, hey, okay, the level is 88 inches of water. And I go to my flow and I say this is a little over half span, and it says, all right, you're getting 54 GPM. So one very simple analog scaling function that takes a raw input, normalizes it, and then scales it according to our engineering units is able to take every 4 to 20 milliamp analog input in our entire system and rapidly convert it to engineering units that we'd want to see. We'd want to put these on an HMI, add them to a historian tool, and view trends over time. So this is really a simple, basic crash course to analog scaling. No need, I think, to overcomplicate it. I'm sure in the future we'll need to do a tutorial on the actual wiring of analog inputs and the setup loop checking process for analog inputs, how you actually make sure they're working correctly. But for the scaling in the PLC, I think this is a great tutorial and good place to stop. So I'll go ahead and call it there on this lesson. If you have any questions, be sure to let me know about in the comments below. Please consider leaving a like on the video, subscribing to the channel. That helps me out a ton. And let me know in the comments as well what you'd like to see next on the channel. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time. Thanks. Bye.